Trans women are women, but better because we are empathetic to a hostile world. It is a basic truth that trans people are more empathetic and accepting to outside groups than our cis counterparts. This is in direct opposition to how the world treats us. The world is aggressively hostile to the existence of trans people. It is well known that trans people, and queer people in general, are more likely to be left-leaning, and that means anything from a liberal all the way to a communist. Conservatives are notoriously apathetic, hostile to outside groups, and, to top it all off, scared of change. This all adds up to the basic truth that trans people are just statistically nicer people. Countless studies, surveys, and articles have proven this. I will cite my sources if I need to, or you can just Google it. If you don't like this fact, I recommend becoming a better person.
Who the f*** do you think you are, you crazy little shit?
So everything that young fellow we just heard from in the first clip said was an opinion. But he was saying it like they were statements of fact. Like he could cite his sources proving that trans people and queer people in general are better or nicer people. I think all you have to do is watch these videos to see that they're the hostile, bitter, and angry ones, not us. Just saying. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a fairly crazy Clown World update for you guys today, and as usual, we have no time to waste. So let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment. So this slightly balding individual is Andrea. Now, Andrea is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman and calls himself a lesbian. Now, Andrea wanted to show the world that he uses the ladies' restroom, so here you have it, the infamous ladies' room selfie.
That is weird. Just a big bulge in your pants.
Let's keep this party rolling with this lovely lady who says that because some scientist told her that violent crime is down, she believes that violent crime is down. I wonder if it's the same scientist that told us the Fauci sauce was safe and effective. Roll it.
Okay, folks, you know how the Republicans go, oh my God, there's such terrible, terrible crime, this March crime now than there ever was. It's even worse than in the Civil War. It is just crime, murder everywhere. Well, the people who actually really study this, the real scientists, what they have found is that in 2023, violent crime has practically gone. It's, if you look at the graph, it's like, woo, they can't hardly even measure it.
My God, are you still talking?
It is 150,000 fewer incidences of violent crime than when Trump was in office. And in fact, they said, the scientists who study this said that 2023 is going to be the year when there was the greatest drop in 1 year of murders in the history of the United States.
Why is she still talking?
Because you know what? The country is more going along just like Joe does. Joe's like, it's all okay. We're going to be fine. Vote for me and everything's going to be groovy.
Just when I think you've said the stupidest thing ever, you keep talking.
So this next clip kind of goes hand in hand with what we just heard from that Joe Biden voter who's just going to pretend that violent crime isn't happening because some scientist told her so, and Joe said everything's going to be fine, so she's just going to ignore it until it lands at her front door. Oh well. Anyway, so this young lady, now let me set this up. So apparently there's some really bizarre trend going around New York City right now where some guy or guys are just running up to women and slugging them in the face. I saw a TikTok stitch yesterday where there was like 7 or 8 women that all said they were just walking down the street in New York City and some man approached them and slugged them in the face and ran off. And there's some security footage of it too. Now, we all know exactly who the perpetrators are. Let's not pretend we don't. However, this young lady who is obviously a liberal Joe Biden voter thinks she has it all figured out. Roll it.
The women getting punched in New York, has anyone considered that this is a right-wing incel, like social media dare or challenge? Because we're not on those platforms, and my FYP is covered with women being punched in the face in New York. It's coming from somewhere.
What did you say? What the did you just say?
The women getting punched in New York, has anyone considered that this is a right-wing incel, like social media dare or challenge?
Oh, don't give me that liberal bullshit.
Real quick, let's talk about the sad reality of what's going to happen when you have scientists and experts and politicians and mainstream media pundits saying crime is down, the streets are safe. That's just a Republican talking point. They need a boogeyman to try to get you to vote for them. Well, people like those two lovely ladies we just heard from aren't going to stay strapped up. They're not going to have any situational awareness, so they will become victims. Unlike us, we stay ready. I keep a Glock in the fanny pack. And yes, I do wear a fanny pack. Anyway, next up. So this young lady says it is okay for us to refer to her using its pronouns. To that I say, ma'am, your terms are acceptable. Roll it.
Hello. So I still use neopronouns, and that's not changing. But I have made a decision, which is that if for some reason you can't use neopronouns to refer to me, and you need a word that you already know how it fits into the English language, you may refer to me as its. They, them makes me super dysphoric. Its is cool. Non-noun neopronouns are still my preferred, especially the ones that keep the E sound, like E or Z or V. But if you need a pronoun like while you're learning those, or if for some reason neopronouns are inaccessible to you, then its. Of course, if you're not using my pronouns just because you don't want to or you think they're invalid, you can right off. Thanks!
Are you fucking retarded? The hell's the matter with you?
All right, next up we have this young lady whose name is Bambi Thug. Bambi Thug. And she will be representing Ireland in this year's Eurovision, which I think is some kind of singing competition. Roll it.
Hi, my name is Bambi Thug, and I am this year's representative for Ireland in the Eurovision. 3 things you should know about me are, I'm a non-binary person, so my pronouns are they, them. I practice witchcraft, and I am half Swedish. My family are from Bromma in Stockholm.
That's fucking weird, huh? Holy shit. The hell was that all about?
Hey, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsors of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen now. It would appear that we have a female version of Napoleon Dynamite, complete with the Vote for Pedro jersey and everything. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by our first sponsor is Abby Schromek. Abby, thank you so much for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate your kind words, generosity, and support. So, once again, first sponsor is Abby Schromek. Second sponsor of today's video is the Etsy store Red Clover Fields. Now, many of you know that is my wife's Etsy store, and she's got some fantastic stuff on her website. Stuff I use every day. I take a spoonful of the elderberry syrup every day to keep my immune system strong. I put the calendula balm on my hands every day to keep them from getting dry and cracked up here in the cold New England winters, which are just about over, thank God. So if you're looking to boost your immune system or looking for some other natural remedies, definitely go peruse her store. I will put a link to that in the description box below. So once again, today's video sponsors are Abby Schromek and the Etsy store Red Clover Fields. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. All right, we've seen enough. Get this off the screen, please. Oof.
Gross. Freaking idiot.
All right, next up we have this real picture of a real teacher inside of a real classroom. Actually, you know what? Over here we call a spade, so that's not a teacher, that's an activist. And that's not actually a classroom, that's an indoctrination center, so there's that.
What? That's so f***ing gay.
All right, next up we have yet another person who's making the argument that the gender binary is our social construct, and listen to all the social justice buzzwords packed into this one. Roll it.
If you're feeling confused about gender, then that's kind of the point. Gender is not meant to make sense because it's a social construct that forces extremely fluid and complex conceptions of identity into a few rigid boxes that are beyond the English language. And the logic of the gender binary totally falls apart when you consider how the gender binary has been used as a racist and colonial form of oppression. During chattel slavery, the gender binary was used to oppress black people. Black women were not afforded womanhood, and they were defeminized, degendered as a form of dehumanization. It shows how gender itself is heavily racialized and is totally socially constructed. In many indigenous and pre-colonial societies, there are well-documented cases of gender nonconformity and a lack of a gender binary, but white Western colonists came in and erased these indigenous forms of gender and imposed the white Western gender binary. So of course gender doesn't make sense. The way that Western society has conceptualized gender is rooted in white supremacy and the patriarchy. Only certain white able-bodied people can correctly embody what it means to be a man or a woman, and once we realize that's BS, the entire logic of gender and the gender binary falls apart. So of course gender is going to feel confusing and not make sense when the entire construction of gender is so layered and intertwined with so many different layers of oppression.
What did you say?
Only certain white able-bodied people can correctly embody what it means to be a man or a woman, and once we realize that's BS, the entire logic of gender and the gender binary falls apart.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up with this clip of the cackling hens on The View talking about a viral video that's making its rounds on the interwebs right now where a bunch of women are asked if they need men. And listen to what the fake Republican Anna Navarro says. All these women have husbands. I can't imagine being married to any of them. Talk about a life of misery. Anyway, things are clearly getting very, very crazy out there, guys. So please, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time. Love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
So there's this clip going viral online of a dozen women being asked the following question. Do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no. And only one said she thought women needed a man in their lives, only one. But when men were asked a similar question, do we need women, most of them said yes. So why do you think that is?
Because men are useless. I mean, and by the way, I want to differentiate between straight men and gay men, because I think I would die without gay men. Nobody can gossip like gay men. Nobody can help you accessorize like gay men. Nobody can help you keep you from doing harm to yourself like gay men.
Bitches be crazy.
And you ain't black.